pizza rolls and lectern doors. Let's go. So basically 1.14 came out and we thought lecterns could be useful because you can take a comparator output from them with the amount of pages that you have selected. And this was way simpler than I thought it would be. It may not look as simple as you think, but trust me, it's really easy. So we have the correct code in right now. We normally won't put the code right here, but yeah. So the code is put in, so that's why the door is open. But let's say I go into this lectern over here, which is 8, and I change it to 7. Door will close. Now if I put it back to 8, the door will open up again. But even if I take it and put it at 9, it will then close again. And that's the same for every single lectern in its special code. You don't have to put an iron door. You can really attach this to any door you want, or as far as you want, because it's just a pure signal going in to redstone torch, except that it keeps the door open whenever you get it right. So on the first one, as you see, we have all 4 comparators. We have 2 of the comparator signals going out above the 2 that are down here, so they don't interfere with each other. So let's go for the second one, which I have labeled as green. As you can see, the correct code is currently inputted. It's going to go out, and it's going to activate this repeater, but not this one. But if we put it one more higher, this repeater right here will activate, and we'll turn this on, which then will keep the door shut. But since we have the correct code in, it's only activating this one and not that one. But since this one's activated, it's going through and turning this redstone torch off. But once all the 4 redstone torches are off, then it'll it'll turn off the signal and it'll open the door. And even if you put them all too high, these will still be off. But since that second repeater will be on all of them, it will turn this back on, closing the door. So here, let me show you. I'm gonna turn these all 1 too high. So now you can see that these repeaters are now on, which is turning on this signal. But even though that the code is still higher, these are going to be off. But this is on now because it's sending a signal through the repeaters that are not supposed to be on. But as you could probably imagine, if we put it 1 too low, let's go and switch these all too low. There we go. That these repeaters just aren't going to turn at all, which now that this is off, that doesn't matter because this is now back on. So where only one code works, and that's that's good. But the thing about lecterns is that you have to put it has to have only 15 pages, because if it has any more, then it will make it to where maybe 2 passwords work, or any more, it could be 3 passwords work. So we got to be at 15 so that it's only 1 password. So that's why you have the option to go from 1 page or password 1 through 15 on the 4 lecterns. And then, so let me go put the code in properly. And then the door will open. It's really simple, way more simple than I thought it would be. And I will show you how to build it now. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start building it. You're going to start out by making where you want the lectern. So as you see, I already made the area. I have all the lecterns set up. And then once you do that, you're going to want to go ahead and make a book. So you're just going to get a book of quill. And then once you open up the book quill, you're going to need to have 15 pages. You can't have more, you can't have less. That's 15 pages. And then once you get all the 15 pages set, you're going to go and put them inside the lectern. And then you're going to you got to think of a password. Once you think of the password, like how you see ours is right here, 4 code. So we have 4 lecterns. Go ahead and put the password in, because we have to know the length of the redstone. So I have all the passwords put into the write lecterns. And then once you put all the codes into the lecterns, then we can start with the redstone. So you're going to go to the back. Directly behind the lecterns, you're going to put a block below the lecterns. And then you're going to have a comparator facing out from the lecterns. Don't be scared if they turn on. They're supposed to. Then they should be going directly out from it with a block in between, just so it looks good. And then you're going to run that comparator into a block. You don't have to color code yours, but I do, because why not? So then those are all ran into a block. And then underneath the yellow one, you're going to put some redstone. And then on the green one, you're going to put a piece of redstone on top of that top block that you placed. And then on the blue one, you're going to do the same thing as you did with the yellow one and put a piece of redstone beneath it. And the same thing on the red that you did with the green. So we're going to start out with yellow. You're just going to pull the blocks out a little bit so you can figure out how long the redstone needs to be. So you're going to go until it gets one block not powered. So you see this one right here is powered, but this one isn't. We're going to break the one that isn't powered and replace it with a repeater. And then right next to that repeater, you're going to place down another repeater and another piece of redstone. That redstone should be off, which makes that repeater off. You're then going to run both of those repeaters into a block. Underneath the repeater that isn't off, or no, the repeater that is off, we're going to put a piece of redstone underneath the block that the repeater is running into. With the repeater that is on, you're going to put a piece of redstone on the block that the on repeater is running into. And then that's basically the first unit. Let's just call that. Now we're going to move on to the blue one. With the blue one, you are going to need to go a little bit lower so that it doesn't interfere with this redstone, but it's not a big deal. So you're going to go down and then just run it down a little bit. It should be all fine. So then we're going to take this out until it turns off. And then if it does interfere with this one, but it's one block lower, then just put a piece of block above it. Yeah, just run it under another block. And then put a block above that one. So there it goes, it's off now. So we're going to place that off one with a repeater. And then you're going to place a repeater right next to that repeater. And then a piece of redstone next to the redstone behind the repeater. That repeater should be off. And then you're going to place 2 blocks, or have those repeaters running into 2 blocks. So now we're going to move over to the red unit because we finished the blue one. Now because this might interfere with the green one, I have to pull it out a little bit. But this one is a short one, so I just got to put it out a little bit. So that redstone should be off, and then we're going to run a repeater into it. And then put a repeater right next to that repeater and make sure it's off, and you run the redstone into it. And then you're going to run those repeaters into a block. And then underneath the repeater that is off, you're going to put a piece of redstone underneath that block. Oops, put that back. All right. And then redstone on top of the block that on repeater is running into. So now we have all 4 of the system set up to where the password that we have is now set. And now we just need to link them all up and get it running. So let's start off with the if we get it right scenario. So, all right, so now that we got all 4 of these units set up and that's complete, we're going to go ahead and start with the NAND gate. So we're going to put it probably right around this area just because we want to keep it as compact as possible. And there's a little bit of room right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So basically, this is a 4-way NAND gate. So we have to put 2 torches right here. Then we have to put a dip. So it's kind of like a U, like a really crappy U. Or a V, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But then, so basically, you're going to put 4 torches in each corner. And then have all those torches run into the center by putting a piece of redstone in between each one, and then put a piece of redstone right here in the beginning. And then you're gonna put a repeater right next to that center redstone running out, and have that repeater run into a block. Now we have to connect all the powered pieces of redstone that are on the top to this. So I am going to put the blue one in this corner over here, the back right, and this yellow one in the back left, the green one in the top left, and the red one in the back right. So this yellow one seems to be pretty easy. We just need to run a piece of redstone into it like that, and then that's off. One done. So now let's go ahead and make this one over here. And I'm going to use a redstone torch tower just to keep it as compact as possible. All right, cool. So then there's 2 done. Now we just have these 2 up here. So with the green, we're gonna run it out. This one's gonna be pretty simple just because how close it is. So we're gonna put a repeater below here, running into that block that the torch is on, and then we're gonna put a block that runs into that repeater, and then just create a line of redstone going onto that block, which should power that, which should turn the torch off. So we only have 1 more torch left, and that is for the red, which looks like it is going to also be pretty easy. We're gonna do it pretty similar to green, almost actually very, very similar. We're gonna put a torch, and we're gonna run a block into that torch, and then put redstone lines on top of that block from that powered piece of redstone down. And now all of them are off. So now let's go ahead and start with the door. So this is pretty simple. Basically, so you're gonna wanna put a redstone torch onto a block. Again, you don't have to make this with a door with this type of door, because it's just gonna be a redstone line. You connect that redstone line to whatever you want, but I'm still gonna make it for the sake of this video. So we're gonna go ahead and put a door right here. It should be opened like it is right now. All right, so now we're just gonna create a redstone line connecting from this block that the torch is on to the output that we created right here. That'll be very hard. This redstone right here will be allowed to interfere with this redstone over here, because that is not a big deal at all. And then we're just gonna go ahead and bring it up, and then go and hook these up, put a piece of redstone on top of that block, and then just run it down. Now you can only interfere with this one. It can't interfere over here. We had trouble with that a second ago. But now that we got that all set up, that is basically the correct password. Good, that's why the door is open. All right, now since the password's already inputted incorrectly, these are all going to be off, which the door is open, as you can see. But if I go over here and I put it 1 below, the door will close. But now we have to make the system to where if I put it 1 too high, it will close. As you see, it doesn't close right now because we haven't made that system yet. But that is a really easy system to make. We're going to go ahead and start off by replacing this piece of redstone with the repeater, so that the redstone right here won't fire back into the system. And now basically we have to connect all these off pieces of redstone in all these different areas to this red one. So let's go ahead and start by connecting the yellow and the blue together. So we're going to run it out just so we don't have any interference right there. And then go and just run it down. Those are all connected now. And then we basically just have to run this now. Sorry, all the way across, connecting it to this red guy over here. And you probably should put a repeater here and there just in case, so you won't lose power. And then you're going to want to make sure you cut this off just so you don't have any interference. And then we got to connect this green one right here, which I'm hoping isn't going to be too hard, but I don't think it will be. So let's just go ahead and do that. Connect all these up, should be running into there. Pretty good, pretty good. And then I think that is basically it. So, all right, guys, one quick correction. You need to put a repeater right here in between the green and the red, just because the yellow won't be able to be powered very well, just because it doesn't reach as far. But after you put that repeater there, the door should basically be complete. So the correct password is already in, but I'm going to go ahead and set everything down to 1. So the password is 1. Okay, so the door here is now closed. We can't get through it. But if I go ahead and put in the correct password, so we're going to start with the first one, set it to 3. That's what it is. The second one is going to be 10, because that is also what it's set to. And then the next one is going to be 5. Then the last one is going to be 8. The door opens. Let's say I accidentally make 10, 11. The door will close. 8 works just fine. Remember, it does not have to be an iron door. This piece of redstone into any type of door. You can even go watch our video on simple doors that you can connect this to, and you can always experiment and make it look as good as possible. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed your pizza rolls, and that is going to be it for this video. So I will see you guys next time.